Welcome back to English for Specific Purposes for Telescola. I am Mr. Daryl.
And I'm Miss Tathia. მოგესალმებით. მე თათია ვარ. კეთილი იყოს თქვენი დაბრუნება ჩვენს ტელესკოლაში. So, what do we have to talk about today, Mr. Daryl?
I believe we're not done with the topic of HR.
Yes, we have to discuss some more topics connected with HR. So today's topic is HR again, but before we go to the lesson, I think that we have to look at our agenda. Let's see what we have on our agenda.
Well, we should lead off with a short discussion about HR topics, and we'll move from there to vocabulary, which will be connected to the reading text for today. After that, we should, of course, look at one of the most important sections, the grammar section. We'll try to sum up at the end and give you some homework.
Thank you. მოდით ჩვენი გაკვეთილის გეგმას გადავხედოთ. გაკვეთილს დავიწყებთ როგორც ყოველთვის შესწავლით. შემდეგ გავეცნობით ახალ სიტყვებს, წავიკითხავთ ტექსტს, გავეცნობით გრამატიკას, შემდეგ შევაჯამებთ გაკვეთილს და დავასრულებთ საშინაო დავალებით. Okay? Now let's get started. Mr. Deril, I have a question to you. I have often heard about soft skills. Can you tell us and tell the audience what soft skills are?
Soft skills are skills that you possess within yourself. It's hard to learn them and it's hard to express them in a physical form. They're the small things that make working in an office easier.
Okay, can we say that creativity and critical thinking and flexibility and logical thinking and problem solving and value education, are these considered as soft skills?
Exactly. Those are precisely the kinds of things that we call soft skills. They're hard to teach, but when you have them, you can improve them a little bit.
Okay, I think that they are very necessary skills, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you think? What are the most important soft skills required to succeed at work? So I think that everybody dreams of succeeding at work, and I think that the audience will be interested in finding out about the most important ones.
Well, we have a list of them, and I would say that the most important is flexibility. In my personal opinion, if you want to be flexible in all kinds of situations, and that will bring you success easier than if you didn't have it.
Yes, I agree with you, but I also think that it depends on the job. So I think that different skills are necessary for different types of jobs, right? So I think that today's lesson is about soft skills and the skills necessary for different types of jobs, right? But before we move on to the text, reading text, I think that we have to learn some vocabulary connected with HR, right? And let's see what we have on the list. And the first word is persuasion. Persuasion is a noun, and in Georgian it means დამაჯერებლობა. Persuasion, დამაჯერებლობა. Mr. Deril, can you help me with the definition?
Persuasion is the speech or writing form of communication in order to make someone believe what you believe or do what you want them to do.
And I think that it's very important skill, right? Persuasion. And we have an example. The occasion will be a test of the senator's powers of persuasion. So I think that the leaders should have this skill, right?
Generally, yeah.
Okay, and the next word is adaptability. Adaptability is a noun, and in Georgian it means შემგვებლობა, შეგვების უნარი. I think this is also necessary skill. How would you define this word in English, Mr. Deril?
It's connected to the soft skill I mentioned earlier, flexibility. Adaptability is the ability to change according to the situation and not be stuck in something previous.
So adaptability. It's a noun, and in Georgian it is შემგვებლობა, შეგვების უნარი. And we have an example here. Adaptability is a necessary quality in an ever-changing work environment, as you said, right? And the next word is facilitation. Facilitation is a noun again, and in Georgian it means ხელშეწყობა, დახმარება. So is it the same as support?
Yes, it is connected to support. It's the process of making something easier or possible in order to do.
Okay, got it. So facilitation, ხელშეწყობა, დახმარება, and here is an example. The company provides consulting and facilitation services. And the next word is networking. Networking is a noun, and in Georgian it means კავშირების, კონტაქტების დამყარება. We also mentioned this word. Networking is when you find new contacts and new people connected with the area of your work. Am I right, Mr. Derill?
You are right. Networking, yes, this is quite an important skill actually. We use it in order to meet people who might be useful to us later, or might be able to provide opportunities to us.
Yes, you're right. So conferences are very good places for networking. When you have break time, you can meet new people. So meeting new people and creating new contacts is called networking, right? Mm-hmm. And here is an example. Her networking skills were legendary in the business, okay? Our next word is perseverance, and it's a noun. And in Georgian, it means showbobraba. So, Mr. Derill, can you give us more details about the word?
Yes, perseverance. Important to be successful, I would say. It's when you give continued effort or you are determined to succeed.
Okay. So, perseverance is a noun, and in Georgian it means showbobraba. And we have an example.
Mm-hmm. And it is through hard work and perseverance, he worked his way up to the top.
So I think that perseverance is really important to succeed at work, right?
It's one of those soft skills you can't teach, but if you've got it, it makes your life easier.
Yes. Okay, and the next word is competitiveness. It's a noun, and in Georgian it means კონკურენტ უნარიანობა. Competitiveness, კონკურენტ უნარიანობა. So does it mean that you have enough skills to compete with your rivals, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Skills and desire.
Desire.
The desire to want to compete with your rivals and to want to be more successful and to want to be the first.
To be better than others. Okay. So here is an example. This deal should help the company's competitiveness at home and abroad.
Very good.
Okay, and I think that we have finished with the words, and it's time to practice and find out how well we remember the definitions of the words. So let's take turns, read the definitions and try to guess the right word, choose the right word.
Would you like to go first?
Yes, of course.
Let's go. Let's see the first one. Form of speech or writing that uses argument or emotion to make the listener or reader believe what the author is saying.
I think that I know the answer, and the answer is persuasion.
Perfect. That is correct.
Yes, I'm right. So, form of speech or writing that uses argument or emotion to make the listener or reader believe what the author is saying is persuasion. And we said that this is a very good skill for the leaders, okay? Now you will try. The definition is the following: continued effort and determination. What is the word?
It's the other P word, and it's going to be perseverance.
And you're right. Here is the right answer. Perseverance is continued effort and determination. Now it's my turn.
Back to you, Ms. Thათia. What is an ability or willingness to change in order to suit different conditions?
Okay, it was something close to flexibility, and it was adaptability, as I remember.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, that's right.
That is
Adaptability is an ability or willingness to change in order to suit different conditions. And now it's my turn. I'm reading the definition, and you will tell me the word. A process of making something possible or easier. What is the word, Mr. Derill?
Well, I happen to know a little French, and the word for easier in French is the word that we English borrowed from them, facilitation.
Really? I didn't know about French word, but I really knew about the English one.
The French word is facile, and we took that word from them, and it's just to make things easier.
Interesting information. So the process of making something possible or easier is facilitation. And I think that it's my turn. You are reading, I'm trying to guess.
Yes, that's right. The activity of meeting people who might be useful to know Especially in your job.
Yes, and I said that the best place for that is conference. And it's very useful to be promoted maybe or to find a new job, and this is called networking. So, activity of meeting people who might be useful to know, especially in your job, is called networking.
Which is quite hard to do in online situations.
Yeah,
online
I
meetings.
agree with you. Okay, and the last one. Who's reading?
I'll read it, don't worry.
Okay.
The fact of being able to compete successfully with other companies, countries, and organizations.
Okay, it's competitiveness,
Yeah.
of course. So the fact of being able to compete successfully with other companies, countries, and organizations is called competitiveness. Okay. And we have finished the first set of vocabulary. We have to move to a new section. This is reading section, but as you know, we have to learn some words in order to understand the text better. Now let's look at the words. So the first word we have is debate. Okay, debate is a noun, and in Georgian it means diskusia mshteloba. How would you, is it a discussion, kind of a discussion, Mr. Derill?
Yes, it is, although a bit more competitive. It's a discussion on a topic which might be pulling in different directions. There's no real clear answer, and you're debating something.
Okay. The debate, it's a noun, and in Georgian it means diskusia mshteloba, and we have an example. Over the year, we have had several debates about future policy. Yeah, usually there are lots of debates in the company about different things. Okay. And the next word, Mr. Derill?
To struggle, and it's a verb, to struggle. The meaning, I'll give it in English first, then you can give the Georgian. The struggle is to find it extremely difficult to succeed somehow, or to be under stress somehow.
Yep. To struggle is a verb, and in Georgian it means bრძოლა, რამეს მისაღწევა, დიდი ძალის ხმევის გამოყენება. I'm struggling to achieve something means it's very hard for me, but I'm trying to achieve this, okay? To struggle, and here we have an example. In the current climate, many small businesses are struggling, and in the pandemic situation, a lot of businesses are struggling. Okay?
Unfortunately.
And the next word is outpace. Outpace is a verb, and in Georgian it means გასწრება ჯობნა. So the prefix out, I think that gives us a hint, maybe, and we can guess the meaning of the word like this. So how would you define the word?
To push yourself out front of someone. So outpace is to go, to move faster, to go quicker, or to develop faster than someone else.
I agree with you. So to outpace in Georgian means გასწრება ჯობნა. And here is an example. The company has completely outpaced its rivals in the market. So it means that it has done better than the rivals. Okay, and the next word is, Mr. Derill?
Dispassion, it's a noun, dispassion. I'll give the English definition first. The state of quality of not being emotional. So focusing and being very serious to get a job done.
Okay. Dispassion is a noun, and in Georgian it means სიმშვიდე, აუღელვებლობა. Dispassion. And here's an example. Let's make these decisions with some dispassion. Okay? So with cold mind. Can I say like that?
With a cold mind? You could.
Okay.
Idiomatic.
Well, and the next word is a phrasal verb. And it is to figure out. To figure out means in Georgian, გაგება მიხვედრა. And how would you say it in English?
It's a more casual way of saying things. You would normally say, use this as opposed to the proper meaning, which is to solve something or to understand something better.
Okay, and so to figure out is a phrasal verb, and it means გაგება მიხვედრა. And here's an example. If they know the cause of the problem, they might be able to figure out how to prevent it happening again. I think that we have finished with the words, and we are ready to read the text. Okay.
We've got a few questions.
But as usually, we have to discuss some of the questions. Okay, a very interesting question, Mr. Derill. Do women have equal opportunities as men in your country?
My country.
And I know that you are from Canada and everyone knows it. So what is the situation in Canada?
Well, legally, the situation is a lot better, I think, for women. than maybe elsewhere in the world. You cannot be discriminatory against women in the workplace, and if you do, the law will step in immediately and take care of the situation.
Okay. There is much said about equality and equal opportunities of men and women in Georgia. But I think, as statistics say, they don't have equal opportunities, because I know that the salary of men and women differ in Georgia in many companies. So I think that there is some more work
To be done.
Okay. And what do you think? What skills do you think women need in order to be more successful in their career? Do they need any additional skills? What do you think?
Well, speaking of soft skills, maybe adaptability and competitiveness as well. Maybe if it is so difficult for women to succeed, they need to be extra competitive. What do you think?
Yes, maybe you are right, but I think that we have to read the text. Maybe the text will give us more insight about it.
Good point.
So, when Margaret McCabe gave birth to a daughter, she knew something had to change. She was exasperated by the gender discrimination she faced as a commercial barrister and wanted to make the world a more equitable place for her child. Mrs. McCabe, whose successful legal career had equipped her to deal with the argument, negotiation, and debate, felt that these skills could help to improve social mobility among at-risk youth. In 2009, she founded a charity called Debate Mate to teach debating skills in under-resourced schools. A very, very interesting thing, okay?
Yeah, a case of someone seeing something that was needed improvement and doing something about it.
And having the power to do it.
Drawing on her experience campaigning for the advancement of women and workplace equality, Mrs. McCabe decided to embed gender equality training into the foundation of Debate Mate. Debate Mate's training, heralded as amazing by backer Bill Gates, has been so effective in schools that it is heading into the office. It aims to bring empowerment to the employees who need it most. At its core, Mrs. McCabe says, it is a skills program. Learning to communicate an idea simply and effectively builds confidence, something corporate women report struggling with, especially as they increasingly enter industries where superiors are predominantly male.
Yes, it really happens when the superiors are male, right? Much has been said about the confidence gap or the difference in self-confidence between male and female employees that can have an impact on their trajectories and salaries. But a confidence deficit is not the only reason why men still outpace women in the workplace. Debate Mate trains female staff to master skills such as empathetic listening and information processing that allow them to communicate more effectively. Women often struggle to get their ideas across fully before being interrupted. Debate training breaks down into basic principles: listening, speaking, strategic teamwork, and dispassion. They develop what I call a third eye and can take a step back from the situation to figure out how to get what they want. Ms. McCabe says, debaters can have a discussion, they don't lose their temper, and they can make a point. That's what women need to develop, right?
So it seems that the soft skills that women need are slightly different from the ones that men need.
Maybe, yeah.
Debate Mate's corporate training is fun, participants say, because the program is taught through games. People think you're confident or you're not, but confidence is a skill. You can trick people into thinking you're confident, clench your bum or clench your toes. It helps to anchor and ground you and lowers your voice. Take a deep breath before you talk so you don't start your sentence with an Scarlett McCabe says.
Yes. I think that we've got good recommendations from the text, right?
Hopefully we've empowered some women.
Yes. And now it's time to practice and find out how well we remember the text. And for this we have a task. We will see statements and we have to decide whether the statements are true or false based on the text, right? And I want to be the first.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you the question.
Yes.
Or not the question, the statement.
Okay.
Ms. McCabe wanted to improve her skills of negotiation and debating. Was that true?
I think that was not true. It's not true. Let me check. Yes, I'm right. And
Perfect.
why am I right? We read in the text, Miss McCabe, whose successful legal career had equipped her to deal with argument, negotiation, and debate, felt these skills could help to improve social mobility among at-risk youth. So she owned these skills.
She was already.
Yes. Okay. And now I will read a statement and you decide whether it's true or false, right? Debate-made training is available in schools and offices.
I believe towards the end they made some mention of this. I think it's true.
And you are right. Okay, and logically thinking, we can say that it was very successful, so it moved to offices, as I remember it was said in the text. So it has been so effective in schools that it is heading into the offices, right? Okay, and now it's my turn, I think.
Yes, women's lack of confidence is the only reason men are able to outperform women at work.
And I think that this is not right, because here it's written the only reason, and I don't think that this was the only
You're
reason,
exactly
so
correct.
this is false.
Yes.
And the statement from the text is, but a confidence deficit is not the only reason why men still outpace women in the workplace.
It's a complicated process.
And it's your turn. I'm reading the statement. The trainees learn to control their temper and express their opinion. What do you think? Is it true or false?
I believe that was the goal of debate mate.
Yes, you're
I
right.
think it's true.
Yes, you are right. And why is it true? Here is the sentence from the text. Debaters can have a discussion. They don't lose their temper and they can make a point. Okay. And I think that we have finished with the reading part and it's time for grammar. And what is the grammar topic for today?
Past perfect continuous.
Okay, very interesting one. Now let's see when we use past perfect continuous. We use a past perfect continuous for actions continuing up to a moment in the past. Also for actions stopping just before a moment in the past. And here is the diagram which demonstrates this process quite clearly. And now let's talk about the form.
Yes, indeed. You need the in a typical sentence, for example, in the first form, you'd say, I had been working. So you need the ing form at the end, but you'd also need the had and the to be in its third form, been. So I had been working, I hadn't been working, and
Negative.
had I been working?
This is the question. I think that it's very easy to form past perfect continuous, and here is an example. When he came, we had been working for already 6 hours and we still had to work some more hours. So one past action was the moment when he came, and before that moment the people had been working for 6 hours. So the process was going on for 6 hours before that past moment. Okay. Nice, and again, stative verbs. I have to repeat that stative verbs are not normally used in continuous tenses because they don't describe actions. And the same example here, I see what you mean, and we can never say I'm seeing what you mean. Okay, and we know that there is a list of verbs which cannot be used in ing form. Okay. And I think now it's time to practice present past perfect continuous. And for this we have sentences and we have to put the given verbs in the correct form. Will you be the first?
Yes. Let me read it to you. The meeting and your verbs are not and start by the time we arrived.
I think that it should be the meeting had not started by the time we arrived. Okay?
Yes, indeed.
Now the second one, I will just read it for you.
Again.
So Ben was fired. Then we have verb spy for a rival company. So how would you say it correctly, Mr. Derill?
Well, I would say Ben was fired. He had been spying for a rival company.
Yes, he had been spying for a rival company, so it happened before he was fired.
Exactly.
Okay? And now, please read the sentence for me.
Everybody noticed that you make a mistake.
Okay, I think that it should be like this. Everybody noticed that you had made a mistake.
Yeah.
So everybody noticed, past moment, and before that you had made a mistake. Okay, and the last one for you, we. Then we have a verb wait long before the meeting started. How would you say this?
We had been waiting long before the meeting started.
You're absolutely right. Had been waiting long before the meeting started, and here is the answer. Great. Mr. Derill, I think that we have come to the end of the lesson, and it's time to summarize the lesson, right?
Indeed. As you remember, we looked at vocabulary in the beginning. Then we had our reading text about empowering women, and we moved on to the grammar section as far as past perfect continuous goes.
Well, thank you. მოდით გაკვეთილი შევაჯამოთ, როგორც ყოველთვის გაკვეთილი დავიწყეთ შესავლით, შემდეგ გავიცანით ახალ სიტყვებს, წავიკითხეთ საინტერესო ტექსტი, განვიხილეთ გრამატიკა, ჩვენი გრამატიკის თემა იყო წარსულის სრული განგრძობითი დრო. ეხლა კი დროა დავალებაზე გადავიდეთ. So, what do we have for homework, Mr. Derill?
We would like our audience to write a paragraph about the skills necessary to succeed in your career.
Okay, very interesting, and we have given a lot of information to our audience, so I think that it will be very easy for them to write a paragraph about it. But where can they upload the homework, Mr. Derill?
Good question. They can upload it to the address that's mentioned on the screen.
Oh, that's very interesting. So I think that we don't have to do anything else today, and we have to say goodbye to the audience.
And to the topic, HR.
And to the topic, HR. Stay with us and keep on learning.
Until next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.